Then it got me thinking about the death mechanic, how initially it was conceived in 2013, and I really like the initial concept. It was very theory craft, it was very general, it was very broad-based, as everything was back then. And so a lot of people are a little nervous and saying, well, if we initiate something like we talked about in 2013, it's going to be too hard to do. And I say no. I don't want to abandon the initial concept of this death of a spaceman, because we're talking about decisions in a game having an impact, and the impact being great enough to make you think about the decisions, so that when you're in the game, each decision you make is well thought out and it's well planned. This is the game that we wanted, right? Didn't we want a game that was a little bit more hardcore? We didn't want easy mode. We didn't really want easy mode. We wanted a game that made us think about decisions. I might die if I make the wrong decision. Basically, your character dies and you have to make another character. And some people say, well, wait a second, DG. Could you imagine how many times I'll have to create a character if I'm an FPS type of guy, if I'm a combat kind of guy, if I like it? And my answer is yes. That's the occupation you chose. So perhaps be careful who you fly with. So perhaps really take some time to make sure that you're flying with a good group of people, or that if you're not and that you're solo, that you understand your routes, that you understand the traffic, that you understand what you're going up against, that you decide when you're going to go and lock onto somebody that you're doing it for a reason, that you're doing it for a purpose, that when you die and you have to go through the process to create a new character. This makes you think about your decisions. Even me, who I'm a very, very hardcore PvPer, I like the idea of these consequences. I like it because if I do engage, I have to think to myself, okay, I might die. And maybe I might not engage. Maybe I'll look at the numbers of people I'm going against and think to myself, I'm not going to go up against that. Right? And that makes me happy to think about that. That's the game I wanted. I wanted those consequences. I'm asking for those consequences. I want a game that's complex. I don't want an easy mode game. Also, it's great for PvEers as well, because what ends up happening is a lot of the griefing that everybody gets upset about, some of which isn't griefing, by the way, and is a legitimate PvP, will be extra policed because you have to think about your decisions. So I really like this idea of Death of a Spaceman from 2013. I really like this initial concept because your decisions are impactful. They will matter. And not only is it a nice buff for people that don't want to be griefed or focus on PvE, it's an additional implementation onto the system that's already existing, the law system that will exist with bounties, with the prison mechanics, and then you add on another layer of these death mechanics according to the way they were originally stated from Death of a Spaceman back in 2013, and I want that to hold true. I want that narrative to hold true, and I don't want people to just blow it off because, oh, that was something in 2013 and we shouldn't worry about it, and let's not, there's so much theory craft back then. Take the theory craft, take the things we talked about in 2013, organize them, and then make it happen. That's exactly what we need in this game. That's the kind of design that I'm used to with Cloud Imperium, and I'm happy for that. And I don't want them to drop the ball on this because I think this is a very important and relevant gameplay feature, even if you aren't interested in support roles. I had another comment on this video where somebody's Ted, in fact, I love Ted. By the way, not slamming you, Ted, but Ted's like, I don't care. It's all a bunch of BS. I'm not into support. Who's into support? And I can tell you there's whole organizations that are dedicated to this type of gameplay. So I wouldn't nix off this type of gameplay because you don't think that it's out there. It is definitely out there. That's like the people that don't understand about the economic gameplay, that nix off the economic gameplay, that say, oh, it doesn't matter because I'm not interested in it. Well, if you end up being that kind of line of thought of player, it will eventually end up affecting your gameplay because it's all relative. It all matters. It's all connected. So this gameplay will add another layer. You have field medics that come in, serious battles that are happening. You have fleet battles because now decisions matter. And you're going to worry about dying. So you're going to worry about who you're flying with. You're going to worry about if they're effective or not. You're going to worry about what ship you're flying in. You're going to worry about what role you're in. And the medic field all of a sudden goes from this is important to this way up the top of the food chain. And these people could essentially save your life and prevent you having to go through the additional time that it would take to make another character. And I don't think people understand that. And that's why I think when I flew in the Cutlass Red for hours, these were the thoughts that I had. I love Drake. I have flown the Cutlass Black for ages. So if you want my opinion on the Cutlass Red, you're getting it from somebody who is an avid Drake fan who has flown the Cutlass Black forever. And I will tell you that the Cutlass Red feels different. The inside is repurposed. I love the way that it feels. It feels like a different ship. It has a new kind of feel to it, and I love the design. I love the fact I don't think they just threw this together. I think they took the time to do the work necessary to make you feel like this was a different ship. The outside recolored a little bit, but what it does is a very different ship. The purpose of it is very different from the Cutlass Black, and the inside feels different. So I'm very happy about that. And I might put a poll on the channel about death mechanics. I might talk about death mechanics a little bit deeper, but the initial video, this video didn't get much attention. And when videos don't get a lot of attention, number one, it makes me sad. Number two, it makes me think maybe not a lot of people are interested in it. But me, I am. Yeah, I think I had this out for a day. It's got 600 views and it tells me it's relatively not that big of a deal. And it makes me sad because I think this is a huge deal. This is almost as big of a deal to me as the economy. Like having the death mechanic in the game that was originally discussed is just as important to me as the economy and having elements of player-driven mechanics in it. Even though we know about Quana, we know about the AI. These are things I have to reiterate. Absolutely love what Tony Z is doing. But this is what I'm talking about. It's parallel of importance. The death mechanic is a parallel importance as the economy to me because I feel as if they keep this in. It's an added additional layer of a law system because now you're thinking about your decisions. I think that by putting the death mechanic in as Death of a Spaceman as the original concept, it elevates the importance to support role characters, which is important. I think there's a lot of reasons why the death mechanic needs to stay true to the original concept, and I won't write it off because there is a huge voice out there where people are just writing off the support role characters or the support role gamers. And so I will fight for like the industrialists. I fight for the support role characters. And it's like, as a man who loves PvP, as a man who loves the pew, I want to make sure I got somebody who loves the job to back me up when it comes to saving my life. And I want my life to have some type of, meaning in the game. This is why we signed up, because this game was different. This is why we signed up. We do not want something watered down. We saw this initially, this watering down when it came to hover mode. And a lot of people were like, wait a second, don't dummy up don't dummy it up. There were a lot of people who were saying that. It was broken already. They needed to redesign it. The flight mechanics are getting slightly better. There's a lot of improvement to continue this flight mechanic feel where we feel connected to the ship. Yes. But we don't want the watering down. We don't want the boring. We don't need it. We saw that with Elite. Absolutely. Jay says he signed up because he doesn't want the boring. He doesn't want it. He lives a boring life, Jay the Bosun. He says, I'm tired of it. What's up, Donnie? By the way, Donnie, we were talking about the original death mechanic. We just had a talk, and I changed my name. It's on the channel because of FTC, and it's a whole thing. Don't worry about it, Donnie. Don't worry about it. What I need you to worry about, Donnie, is to pass along the message to the people of Cloud Imperium that we want to keep the death mechanics to the original concept of Death of a Spaceman, and I've talked about it in length. And if you want to see what we were talking about as a community, please go back to this VOD when this stream is finished and just click around somewhere and you'll end up finding it, because I'm talking about it to the fullest extent, and I think I've made a clear case on why it's important that the death mechanic in the game stays true to the initial concept. Today's video has been brought to you by the generous patrons of DG360 who make continued content possible. DG360 patrons enjoy monthly giveaways like Star Citizen packages, Steam gift cards, and any game that you want giveaways. Please consider donating $1 if in any way you enjoy DG360 content. And these difficult times where independent content creation is under attack from the FTC and left to die by YouTube, it's nice to know that I'm appreciated. Thank you.